Hi everyone, Emma here. I want to do a tutorial on how to make a lovely bracelet. This was the initial bracelet that I was trying to recreate, and so there was a few issues with this. I kind of worked through the kinks. These bicones are too big, so we need a smaller bead there, and we also need a picot here. So this was just a design I kind of came up with on my own, although now that I've done some searches, clearly I must have seen it in other videos, and I'm like, okay, so not my own design. So there's definitely videos out there with different designs, and the funny thing was I was going to post this video yesterday, and before I got a chance, I saw that Mila from Mila's Beading had one similar to this. So I just watched the first couple of minutes and commented on her video. I haven't had a chance to actually watch it through. And the reason being is I wanted to try to do it my own design without seeing how she's doing it. This way I won't copy hers. But it's probably smarter to actually watch hers because I'm probably doing this the hard way. So the other problem I was running into is I have a nice stash of super duos, but I don't have enough to match the colors that I want. And the main bead in this is this cabochon, which is called Pacific Poppy Seed. Not sure why it's called that, but it's gorgeous. It's kind of like a Montana blue on the inside, and it has this speckled gold finish on the outside. So these are beautiful. So yeah, let's try and do this. The other thing that I did, because I couldn't find, like, it looks nice with the gold. This gold picks up on the gold here, but I didn't want to take this apart yet. I will redo this with the gold, but I wanted to do a tutorial to show you, so I tried to find something to match, and I didn't have enough of these golds. So what I came up with was these lovely lentils, and I got kind of excited about it because I love lentils. I don't know what it is about these beads that really get me excited. So I have 2 strands of these. I think I will probably end up using both strands. I think there's 50 on each strand. And I got these from Art Beads for about 50 cents a strand when they had a sale on their 2-hole beads. So we're going to use lentils instead of super duos. And if this works, I think this could be very exciting, because that means my stash of lentils can be used in applications where you would use a lentil. So the other thing that I wanted to just point out is I was going to start this with 2 needles, and I got things going and realized it kept getting tangled, and I actually didn't need 2 needles. So let's see if we can do this without. Now the other thing that I have is these demi rounds. These are called Rainbow Frosted Turquoise. They are gorgeous, and again, I got these for about 50 cents from Art Beads on one of their sales. So I have those, and then I have those cabochons. They are incredible. They're really high. And then I have some Miyuki 11-0s and some fire polished, I believe these are 3mm. I was looking at 4s, but they're a little too big. And then I have a check glass button, and this is beautiful. I think it's turquoise with a luster on it. So we'll use that for the button. Make sure if, oh, and I put out some Toho 15-0s that kind of match these colors here. So let's get started. I'm gonna start with, I'm trying to think which is the Yeah, let's start with our cab. So just to point out, you have to pay attention to your cab because it's two-sided. So the one side is flat, the one side is rounded. And because of the way we do this, there's two holes, a top and a bottom hole. So you have to remember which hole you're on, otherwise it'll flip it backwards. So you'll see as we go along. So let's start. On this side you will do your clasp. So this part here is the top hole. So we're going to string that on. We're going to take a demi-round, 3 lentils, a demi-round. Okay, so now let's set our cab. So there's the top hole. Let's bring one over, set it down, and now we're actually looking at the bottom hole of this one. So we're going to go through it just like that. So you see how it's going to bring the two of them together in this position. So just put that there, and then we're going to need another. So this is probably the most complicated part of this, is getting your cabochons to sit in the right dimension along with your beads. So this is what you're going to put on at the beginning. Cabochon through a top hole, then your demi-round, 3 lentils, a demi-round, cabochon through the top hole, a demi-round, and 3 lentils and another demi-round. And you're basically doing, you're going to take this to the end, and it's basically like right angle weave. So you're going to create a loop with this, and this is going to be your starting point. So I have a bit of a tail. Now what we are going to do is go through. You could go through just the cab. I think we need to set up. Yeah, we're going to go. Let's go through the 2 cabs and end at the second cab. See if that does it. Hang on to your tail so it doesn't go through. You could also do a stop bead in this position here. So this is what I wanted. Yeah, we are going to have to go through those now that I look at this, because I want to create a knot here. So let's go through. So you would go through all of them. And I apologize, I'm kind of working through this in my head as well. So let's go through all of these. And now we're going to make a knot here. We probably don't need all that because we're going to get rid of that knot. I'm just going to bring this out a little more. Onto that. There. And at the short end here, a knot. And I apologize, I'm not that nimble with my fingers because of my thumb needing surgery. So make sure this is nice and tight. I'm going to do a second knot. And we probably should bring the needle through so you're doing right over left, left over right kind of thing. And that way your knot won't slip out. I've done it where I've done the same side knot, and then when I went to pull it tight, the thread just came right out. So that's why we do one over the other, like that. And we are set. There's our, that's the back side of it. This is the front. So now you can actually clip this. You could use your thread burner. And I am going to tuck it in here. This, and pull that thread through the cab. There we go, like that. So we're set. So now we need to be in the top hole, because now we're going to create this piece here onto this one. So it's going to come up here. So to do that, we just slide through the top hole like that. And again, this is actually, now that I look at it, it is right angle weave. I'm a genius. Okay. So we picked up a demi round, 3 lentils, a demi round, and I'm going through the bottom part of my cab. Then we need another demi round, 3 lentils. So the first one we did 2 cabs. This one we only need to do 1 because we already have 1 here. So there we go. This is what you have on your needle. Like that. And we are going to go through, you're coming out this hole, we're going to go through this hole. And I put it through the wrong side. So there's an example of why you have to check your orientation of your, so this, I should have been through the other hole. So let's take this off and fix this. Oh, and I didn't tell you, I'm using 6-pound fire line. I tried it with the 4-pound, and I just find it's a little too floppy for my liking. So this 6-pound gives you a little bit of structure. Okay. So to figure out what hole to go through on your cabochon, I just set them on the mat. Okay, so let's do it like this so we get an idea. Okay, so we're like that. So we want that one to be here. Let me make sure I've got, okay, there's the double holes. So there's the 2 holes. We are coming through this way. So that's probably where I made my mistake. So you're going through the bottom hole on the left side of the cab. So let me turn it for you. So you're going through the bottom hole, coming through the left side. And then we'll put these guys on. Let's hope that turns out. There and through here. I'm just going to pull that tight and pull these guys in. And we got it. There we go. So now you have to set your needle and thread up. So you want to go through here. Just, it's exactly like, now that I look at it, it's exactly like right angle weave. So you're going to go up through these and then through this hole, and then you're going to relocate into the top hole. So let's do that. Just going to flip it so that it's on my right. Just makes it easier. For me, I work from my right side all the time. And through those guys, just going to pull that, hang on to it, and pull this through. There we go. I'm gonna try and pull my thread tight here. There. And now we're going to go from this hole to this hole. And we do that step all over again. I'll do it one more time and then I'll go through and get the length of this bracelet done. Now I did want to point out there were 17 of these cabochons in the container, and when I did the first one as an example, I noticed that it's right at 7.5 inches with all 17 cabs. Now that's with the Super Duos. It might be different with this, so we'll keep measuring this as we go along. So at this point, I would suggest, depending on the size of bracelet you want, if you need a 7-inch bracelet, you might even take a few more of these off. That's probably an inch right there, so that would be, I would say, take 4 cabs off if you're doing a 7-inch. What I'll do is when I get this going, I will measure it at the 7-inch and the 7.5, and then I'll give you that information. So let's do this one more time so that we don't mess up on the cabochon again. So we're picking up 1 demi-round and 3 lentils, a demi-round, and your cabochon. So let's see if I can figure this out without setting it up. So I want to pick up my cabochon and go through the bottom hole on the left side. So let's see if that is correct. So that would be bottom hole, left side. So that's what you got to remember, bottom hole, left side. And there's the bottom hole and left side. And then we need a demi-round and 3 lentils. So let's just show you what I have. Oh, my demi-round's still up there. Sometimes they get a bit staticky and stick to the... Okay, so you have demi-round, 3 lentils, demi-round, and if you flip this up, you're going through the bottom hole on the left side of your cabochon, and then a demi-round and 3 lentils. And that's what you have on your... You're going to come around to the top hole on the opposite side and pull it, and that's what you have. I'm gonna flip it. So this is basically right angle weave. I am gonna go through the demi-round, the lentils, go through the demi-round and the cab. Gonna pull this tight. And there you go. So you can go along and tighten this. It's a little floppy still, so let's just see if we can pull this tight on this end. Oh, I guess it's on this end that I need to pull. Pull that one and then pull those guys there. There we go. So I'll be back. I will add the rest of these on and measure them so we can get an idea what a 7 and a 7.5, how many cabs that will be. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I have this section complete. I have 6.5 inches in length. So I'm going to leave it at that because once we add the clasp, it should be around 7 inches. So that gave us 2 cabochons left out of the container of 17. So that means this is 15, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, 15. So I'm just gonna, so if you want to make a 7.5 bracelet, then I would suggest adding one more. So there's that. So let's get going. Now what I'm gonna do here around the edge is I'm gonna create a area to add a clasp. So actually, no, you know what? I'll do that on the other side because I have to go through this top hole anyway. So if I were to do it now, then I would end up going down the other way. And I kind of want to work from right to left. So we're going to go through that hole. And I'm just going to pull this tight. It got a bit loose from sitting there. There. So to tighten it, I just push on these ones here where my thumb is, and it brings it tight, and then just pull on this thread here. So now we are going to need a 3mm fire polished there. I think I'm going to put a demi round in this area here. So let's start with that one. Just for uniformity. And let's see how this fits. We might add another one on the other side of the fire polished. Actually, you know what? I think I might take that out. It doesn't seem to be sitting well. You see how it's opening a gap here? So let's see what it looks like without it. I'm just going to go through these, and that'll pop them off. It says, these are, twisting my wrist that way is hard on my thumb. So there, that just popped those off. That's what I wanted to do. So let's slide this guy in. Okay, so we're going to go through, coming out the cabochon, fire polish, and through the top hole of the lentil. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that sits a lot nicer. Yeah, so much nicer. Okay, so now we are going to use these 11-0 seed beads to start out here. Now I think I'm going to, rather than go through them, I don't know, I'm trying to decide which to do. So let's try this first and see how it looks. So we've got an 11-0, and we're going to pick up 3 15-0s. And this needle might be too big for these 15-0s now that I think of it. And then an 11-0. And oops. Then we're going to go through this hole of the lentil. Like that. And yeah, I don't like the way that sits. I think it needs to go through this hole. So let's take that off. And I think the 15-0s are too small, so let's try using 11-0s. So let's just take those 2 off. And I think it needs to go through the middle, because I'm concerned that the middle lentil is going to pop to the inside, and we kind of want it to stay. So let's see how that looks. and my thing got loose. So let me see if I can tighten this a bit. We may have to put a different bead on there, maybe a round. And this needle is a little big for this application. Okay, let me see if I can. So that actually doesn't look too bad. Let's hold it this way, see if we can. We'll see how this looks on this second. This needle is definitely too big for this. I'm having a hard time picking up my beads. Oh, this is annoying. These beads are sticking to me, so they're clearly they're staticky. There. Let's see how that looks. It's really loose. I don't know how it got so loose. But that looks good. So I think that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pause this and tighten this up a bit. Okay, I managed to tighten it up a bit, so let's go ahead and add. Now we need an 11-0. I'm gonna try it this way so it doesn't get loose again. Get this. Oh, this is knotted up. I think my tail in my needle is too long, so it keeps flipping around on itself. I'm going to switch that. Let me pull this through. And bring that out a bit. There, so it won't get tangled. Okay, let's hang on to this. And we'll start zipping this up. So pick up an 11-0 through here, through the top hole of the lentil, and then we need a fire polished and through the top hole of the next lentil. That. And an 11-0. So we're going to do this for the whole length of this till we get to the end on this side. Then we're going to create part of the clasp. That, another fire polished. There. That's looking good. Okay, so I'm going to continue like this, and I'm going to pause the camera, and when I get to the end I will come back and show you how I add the beginning of the clasp, setting it up. And a fire polish in here. Like that. Okay, be right back. Okay, so I'm through all of them, and you have to be careful not to pull it too tight because it'll tend to turn in the other direction. So I have those in there, and I'm at this point here. So now I'm going to add some 11-0s and one of these fire polished, and then come around to the other side. So I'm going to sit it in this spot, and that's going to be the beginning of my clasp. Then I'm going to continue on to the other side. So I'll take a look. I think I probably need, yeah, 2 11/0s, 1 fire polished, 2 11/0s, and again, this is just basically right angle weave. So this is what you're adding to your needle, like that. You're coming out this end, you're gonna go in the other side and pull that through, and there. So that's the beginning of your clasp, and you're gonna attach your clasp through your fire polished. So at least that looks a little more finished. So then we're gonna do the same as we did on the other side. So we're gonna start with a fire polish and go through the lentil like that. So I guess you could put one of these O beads there, or demi rounds, but I didn't like the way it made this sit, so I think we'll leave it. We could always, you know, add something here if we feel like it's missing it. So let's do the 11/0 like this, that, and another 11/0 through the lentil. Let me change the position here. This, then a fire polished through the top hole of that lentil, and that's what we have. So I'm going to go ahead and continue this all the way through, and we will meet up at the end. Be right back. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and that looks awesome. So initially I wanted to do a picot around these lentils, but you know what? It looks really nice just like this. So I think I'm going to leave it like this, add the clasp and the button, and just leave it like that. And then I'm going to work on some designs with this, and maybe work with some other 2-hole beads to see if I can get a different design in the middle as well. So yeah, I think that looks awesome. It looks beautiful on my wrist like that. So yeah, now you know what to do with your lentils. So let's go ahead, and I mean, there's no like real design difference in this way I do my button and clasp. This, I've seen this done on all kinds of videos. So I'm just going through my 11/0s and my fire polished. So now my needle is ready to go. I'm going to use this fire polish to create the loop with my button. So I think I will add I think we'll do 3 and then go through the button. Now for the button, I was actually thinking maybe we should put some demi rounds in between these two as well. Let's try that, see what it looks like, just to make it a little fancy schmancy. So we'll do 1. Actually, let's take this one off too. So a demi round, 11/0, a demi round, 11/0. That looks kind of cool, actually. Okay, a demi round and an 11/0. This third 11/0 I'm going to use because I'm going to do another side to this when it attaches. So this one's going to be the one that the thread goes through. You'll see what I mean. Then go through here. So let's do 3 and 2. So demi round, 11-0, demi round. Probably overkill, but it's my bracelet. I can do what I want. And a demi, yeah, like that. And then through the button. Let's get this down a bit here. So go through the other hole. This. Wow, my fingers are just not working today. Okay, let's pull it through and see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that's nice. I like that. You could put a fire polish there too. But that's kind of nice, just like that. Okay, so now we're going to go through the first 11-0 under the button. This one here. Then we're going to create the same here. And that's going to go around the other side of the fire polish and just pulling everything through. So let's do let's move these over here. Demi round, 11-0, demi round, 11-0, demi round. Bring those all the way through, like that. And you're going to go through the other side of this fire polish here, like that. Like that. And that's what it's going to look like. Just make sure it's all nice and tight there. So now, I think I'm going to put a knot here and then bring it through a second time. So let's pull that through, a knot, and then go through all of these, like that, through the button. Bring that up. Go through all these beads. Might have to do it in a couple of rounds because it's kind of looping. And bring that through the buttonhole and then down through that middle bead and down through the other side, like that. Pull it all the way through there, nice and tight. Now I am going to put a knot here and then I'm going to thread my thread through. Let's make sure that's in there. Make sure this is tight. There, like that. Let's just arrange this. It's a little too tight, so I'm just kind of moving it around to there. So now we can weave our thread through here. I might put a knot there, I think. Probably not necessary, but it might secure it and tighten it a bit, like that. And pull that tight, like that. And I'm going to go through. This is probably getting tight because there's a lot in there right now. This needle's really big for this application. So FYI, I would use a smaller needle. through, because I'm going to do another knot here just to secure the other side of the clasp. So I need my pliers to pull that through, and so what I want to do is I want to kind of pull this one down a bit, so I'm going to put a knot here. Let's bring it down. Make sure it doesn't go around that bead, and bring my needle through and pull it tight, and I'm just gonna bring it down here. And this is probably not the best way to do this, because now that I look at this, it's I'm in the top hole instead of the bottom hole, so I can't hide my end. But I think what I'll do is I'll just do a little loop here. There's tight. Oh, I wanted to go through here. I should have. Yeah, this is a bad idea that I have. So let me just clip this, and hopefully that won't come out. I'm gonna see if I can make my thread so that it creates a knot so it doesn't come through. So I'm gonna just make a little ball here. There. Usually you do that with a lighter, but I don't have a lighter, so there. There is the button. So let's go ahead. I will thread this and come right back. So this is the other side. I got my thread through. I'm looking at the back side of it. This is the flat area. So I'm just going to come up through here, through these two 11/0s, and through the fire polished, like that. And then we are going to pick up probably 24. We'll make it around this button. So I will string on 24 and then come back. Okay, so I went through, I actually put 26. You could probably get away with 24 11/0s to go around your button, because you can see it's pretty loose. And so I basically strung on 26 11/0s. I came around to the other side of the fire polish, went through the beads, came out, created a knot, and then wove it through the button, and that's it. So this is this lovely bracelet, and that's what it looks like. Turned out pretty nice. Colors go together, so that's an awesome way to use your lentils if you're not sure what to do with them, because I definitely had no idea what to do with them. And there's the button. I think I'm going to change this out. I don't like the way these look. They look kind of, I don't know, funny looking. Kind of funny looking, eh? So I think I'll just put straight 11/0s in there, all one color. I was trying to incorporate the two colors, but it looks kind of silly that way. But that is this beautiful bracelet. So there we go. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will definitely come up with some new ideas on how to use 2-hole beads and incorporate lentils in a design for a bracelet. So if you have any of those beads, I might try some bars and see if I can, you know, create some interesting designs coming up. So there you go. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you in the next video.